first job in the industry actually was to set up screenings for the distributor that I was working for. And I remember thinking there were three elements to a successful screening. Of course, you have to have the film. That makes sense. And then you have to have the venue to put the film on at. And then, of course, you have to have the audience. So you have to arrange all these three things and get everything together in one place. And that would be then a successful screening. You've done your job. The film is being screened to an audience at a venue. And that is a microcosm of what film distribution is. Because film distribution is simply that writ large across the whole of the territory. We get the film, we advertise it and publicise it to all the people that we think might want to see it, and we put it on at the venues, and they'll come to see it, and they watch it. And so my very first job was just a tiny taste of what this industry does. A UK film distributor's main job is to, at risk of sounding circular, distribute the film. The main job is to get the film out to a paying audience. That's the job. And we do that via a number of means. Firstly, to publicise the film and market the film to the correct audience by identifying the audience that we think will be right for the film, identifying how to reach them, and spending the right amount of money so that when those people come to see the film, we get the maximum return on the spend that we've spent on the film. And of course we also have to identify the cinemas to put the film in, the correct release date, to bring all of those elements together. Within film distribution, the film exhibitor plays a key role in that they are the final stop, as it were, for the film. That's when the film does its job of getting on screen and entertaining people. And I truly believe the guest experience in cinemas today is the best it's ever been. We're very lucky at Lionsgate in that we can get involved in a film right from its inception because we have our own productions and we get very, very involved with other producers where we acquire the film prior to it being made on a pre-sale. So we can get very involved right from the start. We can give notes on script, on production. We can get involved as early as that. Sometimes you don't get involved until the delivered film. Sometimes we might not acquire a film until the film is made, completed, delivered, and then we see it at a screening and decide to take it on. So once we're involved at that point, it's with us in the distribution machine, but the distribution machine can get involved at a much earlier stage to help guide the film in such a way that it will connect with an audience at some point. And once the film is finished, which could be a film that we've had from pre-production or during production, or even a film we've acquired finished at a festival, once that happens and we have the film, the path to being released can be anything from 3 months to a year. The first thing to do is to screen it, and we screen it to exhibitors, and also usually we would screen to influencers and critics, and we garner their opinions too. And we have to listen to this. It's no good telling those people to screen the film to that they're wrong. We have to listen to them, and we have to match our distribution plans with what exhibitors mainly and what critics and influencers might think of it. So taking exhibitors first, the cinemas themselves, we would listen to their views on the film, listen to how widely they think it can play, what kind of audience they think it would go to, what kind of cinemas they would play the film in, how widely they would support the film, and crucially what dates they'll be able to support the film on. Selecting the release date is something of a dark art almost. If you've got a film that the cinemas want to support, but you're thinking of releasing it on a date when the cinemas are crammed full of other, perhaps similar product, the film won't deliver to an audience. They won't be able to play it. So you have to talk with exhibitors and discuss an alternative release date. And then, of course, that has to tie in with the marketing and publicity for the film. So there may be publicity reasons to go on a certain date. For instance, festivals. For instance, talent availability. Talent may have a certain window of availability between one shooting project and the next that they can come in and promote the film. So you might be left with a decision to make, as in, the cinemas want this date, but talent can only support this date. Which is the best thing to do to get the best result for the film? We can disagree with them, and we get some people telling us this is a fairly small film, and we say, no, we really believe in this, we're going to go for it. And you can get that right sometimes, and that's fantastic when that happens. When you're told it's a small film and no one will ever go, and you say, no, we're going to go for this and believe in it, and you go big for it, and then the public reacts and they all come out and see it, and it's fantastic when it works like that. And that's the job, really, is to get those films and make them bigger than anyone ever thought they could be. From a marketing perspective, they will usually come at it from an audience point of view. The first thing they'll do will be to identify the audience and who wants to see this film. What does our audience look like? And then they'll think about how to best sell the film to that audience. Are we selling a comedy? Are we selling a comedy thriller? Are we selling a thriller? Are we selling a kids film? How do we get to this audience? What's the message? What's the campaign? And that has to be distilled into one or two images. The poster image. If you look at most posters, you'll know straight away what kind of film it is and whether it's the kind of film for you. And to get all of the ideals that marketing aim for, that the demographic profile of the audience, the kind of film it is, to get all of that onto one image so that someone can look at it and straight away decide if it's the kind of film for them or not. That's quite an art. And that's what the marketing department do. And then, of course, they book the media in order to reach that audience as well. So it's not just about the campaign and the artwork itself. It's about the media that is then booked in order to reach that audience. If you want to know the difference between marketing and publicity, marketing we pay for. We buy adverts. Publicity we don't. It's about engaging with the press. So everyone has to be completely sure about what we're selling and the marketing elements of the film that we're putting forward, so that there's a consistent message to the audience. The spend on digital has increased incredibly over the years. It used to be a few quid on a website and maybe some money on a Facebook page. Now it can be a large chunk of your marketing advertising can be online, and a large chunk of your effort in publicity can also be online and on digital. There are ways in which we've changed our marketing in order to service digital better. So certain clips or even trailers are designed to be watched portrait on a phone. You think a film is landscape, and everything we watch on a film, on TV, on cinema, on our computer screens, is designed for landscape. We now recut for the portrait format. We also cut down trailers to shorter lengths because people's span of attention is quicker on digital. There are also, you'll see oftentimes on digital trailers, a 5-second pre-roll, saying you are about to watch the trailer for such a film, because people click off after 5 seconds, especially if it's being put in front of them as an advert. There's a 5-second countdown, and you've got 5 seconds to get their attention. It used to be in a trailer, in a cinema, you've got 2.5 minutes, and now you've got 5 seconds, and you often do that by putting some sort of logo up saying, this is the trailer for this certain film. Stick around, watch this, it's going to be 30 seconds of fun. So even the material elements that we deliver have changed. We don't just say, oh, this is the trailer, stick it over to a film company's website and hope that they just play it. We're changing the actual elements themselves in order to better serve the digital world. The way we work with film influencers is the way we would work with any other publication or TV or radio that have direct contact with consumers of film. We include them. We talk to them directly, and we would try to get them engaged in our film so that they can engage with their own audience about our film. And for us now, those influencers are as important as a conventional website or conventional film magazine or conventional film critic. What they have for us is that third-party endorsement. It's so much more valuable. If you see an advert, you know it's an advert. If you see a poster, you know it's been paid for by whoever wanted to put that up there. If an influencer, a vlogger that you follow, that you trust, that has recommended good things to you before, says to you, hey, I was at a screening of this film the other week and it's fantastic, it's got this person in it, it's got this person in it, I had a really great time watching it. You know what, you're listening. And that's where the influencers online are so valuable to us as film distributors. We can involve influencers at a very early stage. We can bring them on set visits, for example. That's a very popular way of doing it. And it helps bring early awareness, because the set visit while we're shooting the film could be a year before the film's released, but it just helps to plant that seed. They might just mention that they went on set, met with a few of the people, saw the film being shot, and it helps plant that seed among their followers that there's this film to watch out for that might be coming up in a year or so's time. In the future, I can only see the relationship between film distributors and influencers getting stronger. Like I say, the whole world's moving online, and we're no different. People expect to see these kind of things online. They go online as their first port of call, and we see the numbers of followers of influencers going up and up and up, and there are more of them. We would certainly engage more with influencers as time goes on. Tips for influencers coming into the business, I would say get to know us and be respectful of the job that we do. Customer facing, if you like. I would say the best thing for us that you could do for your customers would be to have a niche. Have an audience that you particularly address. What do I mean by a niche? I mean, there are many sort of websites that are particularly devoted to horror, which is great, we use them. And if you think of other vloggers, there are mummy vloggers, there are recipe vloggers. If you're a film vlogger, have a niche. If you're a vlogger, you would have to always be true to yourself and true to your audience, because if they think that you are just some kind of mouthpiece for the film companies, then they'll stop coming to you. They need to know they can trust you. And you should always be true to whatever passion you've got for films.